Good morning, another beautiful morning in paradise. Nice and calm, mild weather, absolutely beautiful. I will say that I have been pleasantly surprised with the weather here in the winter. I mean, it's winter time here. Well, I should say it's winter everywhere else in the world, but not here. Really nice, mild weather, a few windy days, a couple cold days back a month ago. It's nice to know it's not terribly hot and humid all year round. Quick update. So now you've seen the video, but the concrete truck sat here for an hour before we got to start pouring because they had to finish up these posts over here. By the time we got clear to the end, he had some concrete left in the truck. They dropped it in that hopper for about 5 minutes while they were getting stuff finished up on the concrete beam. And they were going to just dump that down in a hole over there and bury it. Wouldn't come out of the hopper. So when I left last night, the guys were hurrying trying to get the concrete out of this thing so it wouldn't set up hard overnight. And it looks like they got it out. Yeah, I knew they would. We finished pouring via headlamps. So I was really curious, oh my God, what this wall was going to look like, and it looks like shit. Oh my God. Well, they're going to have to skim coat that because that's not going to work. I figured they'd stay out here after dark with headlamps and smooth this shit out. They should have not did concrete yesterday. They should have pushed it back to today. Took the time, got them poles right, and then they could have finished the top of this off properly. But this just looks not good at all because I'm literally standing at ground level. You're going to see it every day when you walk by it. Contractor will be here today. I'll talk to him about it. So as I said yesterday, all we got left is to support these forms, set them, whatever you want to call them, down through the middle of here. He told me yesterday they would have concrete here between 9 and 10 o'clock this morning. They got a couple hours. They get the rest of those guys out of bed and get them over here. He'll get them done. This is disappointing. Really disappointing. We've got a CPAC truck. They're getting ready to pour the beams for the house. Cube towel right. 13. Ooh. 13 cubes. Duke's here. He'll be here all day managing the show. I think they'll put the floor in and then they'll put the columns in. I'm not sure. Maybe they'll put the columns and then the floor. I've seen it done both ways. And I haven't asked, so I don't know. When you hear me call concrete CPAC, this is why. There's the largest corporation in the That was close. About took out my power pole. I don't think he saw it back. There he goes. There he is. Got it now. That was exciting. Whew. So for those of you that don't know, I was explaining this to Sam Pit yesterday. She was wondering why they put this water all over here when the concrete's already wet. Basically, if the concrete contacts a dry surface, it will suck the moisture out of the concrete and cause it to prematurely dry, which my understanding is that will also later on cause it to chip easier. So they wet everything down so that the concrete won't dry too quickly. All right, second truck's here. Looks like the first truck filled about half. He thought it'd be 13 cubes. And they're shallow filling this one because this is a bathroom. And that's a bathroom. So these floors will actually be lower, and that's why these are shallow filled. In Thailand, for those of you in the West, they usually step down the wet rooms. So these trucks will hold up to 6 cube, but they might be bringing them in a little bit light. because they're going to have 3 trucks. They might have brought 5 and 3 on the last one. I'm not sure. The wall guys are starting to pull the shuttering or forms off the wall. They got everything pulled on the outside as far as this support wood goes. Oh, this is a little thicker. It looks more like concrete to me. I haven't said a word to him about vibrating today because I was worried about that wet concrete being too wet. Duke was over here the whole time and I heard the vibrator going. Duke just left. I didn't hear the vibrator running. So I hit it over here and now I hear the vibrator running. But this load's much better looking concrete than the last one. But they've got everything across here poured, so they just got basically from the front corner of this beam back across here. Imagine they'll get what they can to here and then go around the other side. And for those of you that aren't familiar, this concrete here, the finish on it doesn't matter because they're going to pour the floor over top of this anyhow. We did talk to Duke about the finish on this. Just shaking my head. But told him they're going to have skim coat it and he agreed. One right there that's too high. And that's the one that's sitting right on top of that column, and that's why it's too high, because they didn't cut the column low enough. All right, and we were supposed to furnish the wire for underground from the house to the utility pole. Duke said he'd pick it up for us. He got us a number on it, and we just wired him the money, so he's going to pick that up, so we don't have to worry about that. So we did talk to him about this crew. This crew is going to stay here to do the columns and the floor, then they'll leave. The roof people will come in, do their thing, and when they get done, these guys will come back and do the block work. And I'm sure it'll be a whole separate crew for tile and paint, plumbing. He did say he will take care of the underground plumbing, the stuff that goes under the floor. And again, this needs to be pretty level, but finish level will be the floor. And from what I've seen elsewhere, they pour it right over top this beam. I'm not going to say it doesn't matter, but it's not critical. All right, about 35 degrees again today, so we're up over 90, somewhere around 95, I suppose. So I'm going to go get back in the shade. But Duke left, so I'm going to have to stay here now, make sure they use his vibrator. So I'm going to go stand in the shade by the truck here, I guess. And this is why they like it soupy, one of the reasons. It's because when they have to bucket this stuff, it's much easier to scoop it and dump it when it's just water. And this is too wet for my taste, but it's not as bad as the first load. So they're going to have to bucket everything around through here, because even if they bring the truck over there, they're not going to get back too far. Good thing is this is still thick enough that when he vibrates it, the rocks aren't settling down through it, so that's a good thing at least. From Nimai? Wani? Oh? It's almost 5 now, so but he says the other truck's coming today, so they'll get it done today. Some cube? Some, yeah, okay. 3 cubes. Home put pasat tay nit noi.
Mumu blah blah.
Blah 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 blah. Mumu blah blah. Mumu blah blah. Dima. Full load test for our wall. Nobody's back here before. I think it'll be fine though. He's all right. Oh, that's good. Partial beam here, partial there, and down on the end. So I think there's 3 cubes in here, which is going to be way more than they need, I think. The sun's still up. This shouldn't take too long to knock this out. They'll be okay. This don't have to be finished out anyhow. I think I mentioned that earlier. Doesn't have to be finished out because there's going to get concrete on top of it anyhow. Not as wet as the first load, but not as dry as the second load. So they're telling me this is a family affair. This is mom and dad and the 3 boys. This guy, I'm not sure, and that guy I think is a brother-in-law. All right, I'm not going to record all this. It'll look the same as the previous footage doing this. So I just want to thank all the new subscribers and all the long-term subscribers. Thanks for joining us at Paradise in Thailand.